Hello everyone. I usually enjoy watching people do flip throughs of their journals, so I thought I would share my journal, Unearthing Your Gifts Creativity Journal, which I made, and it's available to purchase on lulu.com. Not the spiral bound, it's the one that's available is the paperback version. So in March, usually the journal starts with the last quarter moon, which usually falls in the new month. So the first thing I do when I am setting up my journal is I will look at this page and think about how I want to focus or express my creativity this month. So for this month, because February and January had been pretty rough, I said that I wanted to make time for my hobbies, for writing, gel printing, making videos, reading, and also programming. So I did most of those except for the programming. Then I'll come back to each of the moon phases on the date, but I'll also go online and find the dates for each of the the moon phases, and as well as the sign. I wrote here, become aware of all the colors, and then I crossed it out because I actually wanted to write the magic in every moment. And then I did a little sketch of a scene when I saw the moon out in the outside of my house. In March, there was the new moon in Pisces. So I usually try to draw something that reflects how I was feeling, or maybe sometimes if I don't know what to draw because I don't have like an image attached to how I'm feeling, I'll just do like flowers, and I'll just start like moving my hand around in the page and something will feel like it's coming through. So here I wrote this little like snake. I honor all the feelings and the experiences, because for sure there have been so many ups and downs. It's a little ridiculous. Then the first quarter moon, this is how I felt. I just felt like tangled. And I wrote a tangle of emotions. And then by the full moon, I was a little more clear. I was focusing on poetry, reading all the Ryoka poetry I could get my hands on, and I wrote Poetry is Magic. I also had some space for reflecting, not pictorially, but more like journaling. I really like the two. I like drawing and I like writing about the drawing, or to add a little more context. So that's one of the reasons why these pages are like this. So I shared a little extra about what was happening on that day. Sometimes if I got to journaling like after the day of the moon phase, I would try to remember what I was feeling. Like I haven't gotten to my Pisces season spread yet, but I am gonna come back and do it. The next thing I do after writing the intentions is I will do the communing with the muse reading. I usually pull a card from a tarot deck, and then I might do an oracle deck. Here I did all the same cards from the Archangel Power Tarot. My message from the muse for March was, release the past, there is more enriching future coming. Let go and let God. Then my how to take creative action cards were about making a choice or finding a compromise. It's safe to trust, and then an opportunity for education and doing the work. I feel that now looking back at this month, there was a lot of these things were playing out. I found I had to compromise in some of the challenges that I was having. I also found an opportunity for education. I signed up for a workshop, and I focused a lot on writing, even if I wasn't sharing. So here I wrote something to reflect on the reading. Feeling very inspired by the cards. even the one about the rocky patch that is coming ahead. My creativity is not separate from the challenges and struggles in the other areas of my life, but it can be a source of refuge and joy. My reading helped me with my anxiety and sad feelings I'm having, which just the anxiety and the sad feelings will not be helpful, but the reading was able to give me some solace. So here I was going to keep track of days I spent doing something fun. So I guess I recorded a video, I watched TV, played Animal Crossing, read cards. I didn't come back every day to write about what I was doing. There was like some card things. One of my daughters had a concert. Then we were on spring break. I bought some cards for myself, and then I rode, read, and rested. For the crystals that I worked with iolite, and I also pulled a card from a plant deck, and I got this plant called oleander. I had never heard of it before. It said there was a period of difficulty coming ahead, which was similar to my message from the muse. I said to not make any hasty decisions. Consider every angle before deciding how to face it. Your emotions won't benefit you here. And I really took this message to heart. So I was really careful with all the emotions that were coming up. I was very mindful to not let them like explode, but also not ignoring them. It was challenging. Here I wrote about how alchemy was just kind of everywhere I looked. It was coming up in a book that was unrelated to alchemy. I also found it in other books that I was reading, so that was interesting. Here in the Temple of the Imaginal page, I kept track of my dreams, and I was dreaming a lot. So that's why I added a sticky note as well. For the weekly check-in, I usually do this on Monday morning or Sunday night. I'll write down what I'm grateful for, things that I'm hoping to do to nurture my creativity, and then things that I'm curious about. So I was curious about dreams because I had just finished the book, or I was reading the book, Dreaming the Soul Back Home. It was a really amazing book. Writing, and then I learned about community-based writing workshops and programs, and that made me search for some locally. Made a list of videos to make, which I haven't made. We played Clue, not this week. I think it was a different week. I think it was the week of spring break. On week 2, oh, maybe something exciting, something interesting I could share is what I was reading. I finished reading The Multi-Hyphen Life by Emma Gannon. I was still reading the Dreaming the Soul Back Home by Robert Frost. I started reading The Hearing Trumpet by Leonora Carrington, and I picked that book because I was really interested in the tarot deck that she made. So I didn't know too much about her, so I thought, well, if I'm gonna buy this book and oracle deck, which were pretty expensive, which I haven't bought, I should learn about her beforehand. The book was really great. I did hit a slump when it changed characters and voices, and I haven't been able to go back, but the first part was so interesting. I was also reading Black Women Writers at Work. It was a really great book that introduced me to a lot of writers I haven't read but have heard of, and now I am planning to read some of the books by the writers themselves, not just the interview. I picked up Flights because I saw it recommended for essays, but I couldn't get into it, so I did not finish it. I also started reading Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, and it was really good. I had wanted to read it for the longest time, and I'm glad I got to read it now when I have been more serious and serious about my writing. Let's see. Projects to resurrect. I wanted to do a series of self-portraits at home or in my home, tying my home to myself. I haven't done that, but that's one of the projects I hope to do. I want to get back to checking in with the Book of Houses, which I've talked about in other videos, and the harvest cycle. A while ago, I had all these ideas for ceremonies to do in service of the community. I'll do a different share about that because it was really impactful, but I haven't been able to start. I wanted to do a gel printing workshop and then also writing short stories. Here I continue reading Bird by Bird, The Hearing Trumpet, Black Women Writers, and I started reading A Life at Work by Thomas More. It's a really cool book. If you feel like you're struggling with your professional work, I would recommend it. Let's see. I don't want to make this video too long. Oh, and also here's a picture of my daughter for her birthday. Let's see. What could I share? I started reading a book by Linda Berry. So I was trying out some drawings here, watching different shows. Let's see, am I reading anything? Oh, I started reading At Work in the Ruins, which I shared a little bit more about all the books I'm reading in my newsletter. So I'll put a link to that. I finally got to check out some books by Rainier Maria Rioja. So I started reading The Book of Hours, The Inner Sky, and I was also reading this interesting book called The Battle for Your Brain. I'm not done with that yet. This was spring break week, so I let's see, what did we do? We did a lot of visiting bookstores. We watched quite a few movies, and also I started reading a few fiction books, The Deep and The Witch of the Wild Things. And I started reading a manga series, The Girl from the Other Side. And then I did a little collage, can you guys still see, for the end of the month creative interpretation. And I wrote some things here after making the collage. I said, why collage? To men, to connect, to see differently. And then I wrote a few things about how March happened. Throughout the week, I'll just doodle, put stickers. It's a very low lift decorating that I do, but it does make it look a little more interesting. I pasted like a parking sticker, the invitation for my daughter's birthday, some stickers that we got at Chuck E. Cheese. Sometimes when I feel like writing more, I'll put in these like extra paper to talk about my how the week went, because in the 2023 version of the journal I used to have a weekly reflection page, and I do miss that, so sometimes I'll put in an extra sheet. Anyway, so that was my March journal. Let me know if you also keep a creativity journal, or if you're interested in one, you can buy this one from Lulu. There's still plenty of year left for you to get started. If you do have one of these journals, I always love seeing how people use them or hearing about how you're getting along with it. So please be sure to comment if that's you. Thank you.